Did your abuelita or your mom ever cook carne de puerco con calabacitas and chicharrón? Well, whether they did or didn't, I'm here to show you how. Start by peeling a couple of pounds of tomatillos. Now be careful with these tomatillos that look very light. Those are the ones that are going to be bitter. But Chivo, my favorite YouTube chef, said that if it ruptures in the water, it becomes bitter. Well, it's time to unfollow that guy. You want the tomatillos that are nice and dark green. Next, peel 3 or 4 cloves of garlic. You want more garlic, add more garlic. You know me, I don't believe in recipes. It's up to you how garlicky you want this. 3 or 4 should do it, and off to the hot pan. Now you want the pan to be ripping hot so it can begin to caramelize immediately, because you know char and caramelization is where the flavor is at. Now there's no time in here. You want them to get that nice char all around as much as possible. So that means you're going to have to kind of babysit them and move them around as you see fit. Now this is going to provide so much flavor. This is very different from the other type of carne con chile where the tomatillos are simmered with the garlic and all of that stuff. This one to me is way better. It has a lot of flavor and depth. Now once the juices start coming out, it's time to pull out. You don't want those juices to end up in the pan and evaporating, and then what's the point? Now when I say charred, this is what I mean. I love the garlic when it's this charred. You're going to turn off the heat, and to this pan you're going to add your chiles secos. Now these are already toasted, but I like them a little bit more toasted. After about a minute I pulled them out, but you can take them further if you'd like. For me it was perfect, so off to the blender we go. But Chivo, why didn't you use your molcajete? Because I forgot to charge it last night. So I have to settle for the blender. So everyone's invited to this party. Everything in there. Nice big pinch of dehydrated seawater. Now it's time to blend. Now at this point it's up to you how much or how little you blend. If you like it chunkier, don't blend it too much. If you like it smooth, blend it a little bit more. As for the meat, we use spare ribs. Now as you can see, these are cut lengthwise. You could get your carnicero to do that. Sometimes they have them in Spanish markets or Mexican markets already cut this way. Our goal is to cut in between the ribs, just like so. Try not to hit the bone. But if you pay attention, you can actually see where the meat is and where the bone is. Now if for whatever reason you can't find spare ribs, don't worry. You can actually use pork cushion or pork stew meat, which is what I'm actually going to also use. The idea here is for you to do some of the cutting so you save yourself a little bit more money when you're at the store. So this is a pork cushion. Now you can get this already cut up for you in pieces like stew meat. That's perfect, but you're going to pay more. Or you can just cut it yourself and save yourself some of that cash. Now how much meat did I use? For the ribs, I used about a pound. And for this is a total of 3.5 pounds. I'm going to use half of that. So about 1.5, 1.75 pounds. And a total about 2 pounds of tomatillos. And I'm telling you this because I know Carlos over there in the back is not paying attention, and then he's going to go in the comments and ask me exactly that. So this is what it looks like. Nice and uniform pieces. And we're off to the hot pan. Así es de que fuímonos. Now to this very hot pan, I added manteca here. Now be careful with this. Once you add the manteca, make sure you bring down or turn off the flame so you can add your meat. But why, Chivo? Because the meat's going to splatter some of that manteca out of the pan, and the fire is going to catch onto it and create a fire. You don't want a grease fire in your kitchen, do you? Now you have to make sure you don't overcrowd your pan, and what I'm saying is that make sure that it only covers the bottom of your pan. You want those little spaces there to allow some of that moisture to evaporate quickly so it doesn't pool into water, and you don't want to season now because that's going to extract more water. We don't want that. And why we don't want that? Because we want that beautiful golden brown color you see now on the meat. And speaking of golden brown, you want those nice sugary bits and pieces at the bottom because that's going to give it flavor. That's how you know you're doing it right. So if you have to do it in batches, do it in batches. Even the meat is dancing because it knows it's delicious now after we put finally some dehydrated seawater. So now that we seasoned, now we mix. And once we mix, it's time to add that salsa that we were working on. Now, if you don't eat meat, that's fine. You can add zucchini and potatoes to this. Just skip the process of the meat and then add the veggies to this sauce and just let it simmer away. And we're going to let it simmer for about 15-20 minutes. Now, the meat is starting to be tender, so this is the time for us to add the zucchini. Now, you can treat the zucchini like the meat and brown it a little bit and then do this process. But if you know me, I'm going to take it a step further and I'm going to add chicharrones or pork rinds to this. If you don't like the texture of soft chicharrones, you can wait till the calabacitas are done and then add the pork rind at that time, mix it, and you're set. Now what am I looking for here? I want the calabacitas to be al dente. I don't want them to be mushy. Why? Because pork rinds are gonna kind of take that role. So we want them to be nice and firm. We want the chicharron to be slightly mushy, and then the meat is just gonna fall apart. It should fall apart in your mouth. So I covered it for another 15-20 minutes, and for me, this is perfect. This is a dish that reminds me of my childhood, especially when I was a little bit picky and I didn't want to eat this kind of stuff. But now, bring it on. Now for plating, we're just going to do it very simple. I use the slotted spoon because I want to control the amount of liquid that goes on my plate. Now this goes well with frijoles de la olla or refried beans. You'll see a tab for both on the upper right hand corner of your screen. Now I know I spewed a bunch of information, so if it gets complicated for you, don't forget to tap on that ask button just before the comments. Please like, share, and subscribe.